You ready? Welcome. Let's do the pledge of allegiance here. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all for being here. July 24th, 2023, here at Jefferson County Board of Tourism. Meeting to order. With the approval of the minutes. Wendy, thank you for sending those out. Hope everyone had a chance to take a look at them. They were well written, grammatically correct, and they were beautiful. I appreciate you doing that. Yeah.
Part of that.
I move that we approve the minutes as presented.
We got one.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? So moved. Treasurer's report. Rose Holman, you're up.
Okay, let's go to 2 pages here. So, I mean, I just copied the innkeeper's tax as we've been keeping track of it. So for June, $64,838.37. Up almost 7% from last year. There have been some maneuvering with those numbers, but that bottom value for what we've collected to date matches up with the auditor's office. So that's what I'm kind of trying to figure out what's. The other page is just kind of our running totals, how much we've started with, how much has come in, what our expenses have been, and then our balance. And then so you can see with all of the community outreach that we've provided, we've got about 94,000, although I don't know if we've received any applications yet, but we're about 94,000 for the fall grant cycle.
Yes.
And then at the very bottom, that just kind of, we have a fair amount in there, but we have 100 with that's not been budgeted. There's like 170,000 available. So, any questions on that?
So 94 for August.
Yeah. Okay. And then we have the thought I'd gotten the trail or the motor trail grant out, but I hadn't. So got that one there. It was passed around. So for 29,000, and then the marketing claim for $5,308.56.
Reach out to you.
Yeah. So I'd like.
If not, no.
I'm aware of 2 or 3 that are going to apply.
August.
Yeah, August 7th is not our meeting. That's the deadline to submit, and then meeting on August 1st.
We'll take motion to approve.
I'll move to approve the treasurer's report and planning.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Dave, thank you. Let's move on to PMI update.
All right. Good to be here. I'll try and keep mine short and sweet. To make sure I can see them. Like you said, innkeeper's tax collections, we continue to track that. They continue to be really good over last year. Occupancy, did some looking at the numbers on that. We continue to have strong midweek, the 60 to 70% range from the hotels that are reporting. That's the caveat I want to always include, because not all of our hotels are reporting, but 60 to 70%. This is kind of looking ahead at the July report, but we did, I noted in the Visit Madison meeting that we had today that Some of, an interesting trend was right after Regatta, the Monday, Tuesday, like bottomed out, and it bottomed out last year as well. And so it's an interesting trend, especially considering the holiday was on Tuesday. We didn't have that many people coming and staying like 4 days. So I don't know if it was like, I don't know if it was, I keep looking at Victoria because it's weird. You know, one of
What
my
are you doing?
concerns- Well,
I have people in.
she had people in. One of my concerns is that, it's a trend that I said in the Madison meeting. We need to keep watching because I'm afraid it's, contractors, business travel. And so I don't want to say I'm afraid of that because that's a good thing to have, but it's something to keep an eye on because if you notice all of a sudden there's a 4-day weekend for people and you go down from 60 to 70% occupancy to 30 to 40%, that's probably business travel creating a large portion of that. So we just need to keep that in mind as we're marketing and as we're planning for the future, knowing that, you know, we may have a significant amount of business travel on those weekdays, making up that 70%. It looks really good, but it's not all to it.
That was a trend I had with nothing after major holiday like that, and I don't know if it's our Sunday out there product that week, so we need to work on that, but on our tour. Do that.
Could be a holiday hangover too, you know. People, they travel for the holiday and then they want to be home, and so we had a lot of day trippers in town. Again, I'm kind of jumping ahead to July report, but we had, I think, a lot of day trippers according to Placer data, but it's just something to keep an eye on. Occupancy, but again, with who we are comparing ourselves with other counties, we're doing really well. Like our occupancy had an increase of 8%. Other communities were down 5 to 10%. And so we're one county that we compare ourselves with, Bartholomew, had a modest increase of 4.4% occupancy. So, you know, we're doing really well compared to the counties we compare ourselves with, and doing well in ADR too. So, June Placer data, I went over this data in the Visit Mass meeting as well. I'm sorry, Jim, I know you get this a second time. But we're tracking that, and a couple caveats I want to make sure I say with this Placer data. I do it by drawing a map around the city of Madison and around Clifty Falls. I can do that for the county. I can run a separate report, but for consistency, I'm just doing city of Madison, Clifty Falls. And that number would count as a visitor on this list. Anybody who comes in from outside of the city limits. So you're coming in from Interstate Block Road, Chicken Run Road, or something, you count as a visitor. But so far, for the year, first 6 months, we have 424,000 unique visitors into the city of Madison in what we call State Park. So even if you subtract out people in the county, even with some surrounding counties, that's still really good visitation. And we are up 10% over last year. So that's impressive. All of those visitors made the combined 3 million visits so far. And so again, you're seeing a lot of those repeats because there's people coming from Trimble County and King County, something like that. So it's best to compare year over year to get a forward picture, but I want to keep you updated on that Placer data because it is interesting. And we keep running reports. I send over to the commissioners and send over to the state board so that they know from the 4-H what was there. The people go 50 miles. Keep running that data. Want to make sure you still know that. I don't have a whole lot else, and we're going to talk motor trade and see what I'm like next week. Read that once you have a question. All right. Thank you very much.
Andrew, thank you. Moving on to VMI marketing update.
You told me to go. We're going to talk about marketing. Motor trail.
Perfect.
So I give you all received, and I apologize for not prepared last time. I there's two items I stuck in there. The destination management cycle, that's something that all of us keep in our office and we look at it almost. Weekly. And, that's a great thing to say, so I put that in there. And I use it towards motor trail development. The second thing that I put in there is the project, the triangle, which I was unfamiliar with for a couple years ago, and a very wise person shared that with me. I also use that for one of the motor trails and research and development. So I got that in there. You could probably get a lesson from a couple of people in here. But basically, you want to look at three different things, shows the cost and the time. You want to make sure they balance out to the cost. So a lot of what's happened with the motor trail project is our time has been having to shift and move in order to not sacrifice quality in that project. So it's just a really cool tool that I do often send you share that. And there's more information about it. So, I wanted to cover, kind of where we are and how we got there. I put that in the report for you. And, the first thing is, first person. He's a retired wife. He had this idea of this simple project. And this simple project is more, I think simple is sometimes harder to do than more difficult projects because you end up going down different paths because you want to make sure quality is there. And it turns out really well. You know, I had a store that had the word simple. I'm all about simple. But also timing has to be right. So we, BMI's been able to build a staff back up. Sarah has jobs now, and the timing is still really great to get the project headed, and it's really great for it. So it's still the wise of the way to do this. It's not labor intensive. It doesn't take 200 volunteers to pull it off. It takes some time to map that, but that'll be an ongoing thing and figure out how to move. It's only got the budget is less than $80,000. We don't know exactly what our return on investment is. Just like if you started a Chautauqua or a Riverfest from scratch, you don't exactly. Well, I've talked to Ron, who said people just are organically showing that are part of park club, people riding a motorcycle. So the goal is to increase the weekday visitation and multiple night visitations. That's what it was when we did it out. So that at least why we're still working on it there. We did meet with Hanover, so last month and a half, we spent some time looking at the assets they provided. There wasn't a whole lot to go on, so we kind of a stall. So it was probably of 5 or 6 months. They did have some website assets that Sarah has identified that she may be able to work with and build on. But other than that, I pretty much had research and development. But I'm not complaining about it. It's just the fact of how it all worked out. So, the second page, I want to talk about who we're trying to attract. 40 and below would be awesome. Active seniors that have a really open step of serving the youth and everything. During that time, motorcyclists, but not limited to motorcycles. Kurt Jacobs Sr., that was his main focus. Of Runner magazines on his table. I earmarked the last section because there's a section that's called the Shamrock. Is it a Shamrock?
they call it clover. Everything we have done, we're not locked into a date, but that is a goal for us, is that we are going to have that.
Um, so classic cars, Corvettes, Jeeps, we can adjust our marketing as we go along and try to target some of those groups. It's not easy, this motorcycle. We're very aware that we're gonna touch some heat of a motorcycle. The motorcyclists who alter their mufflers around. So, bullshit. We don't like it, but that's okay. That's okay. Majority of the people are, it's a target, it's, people that want to spend time leisurely. If there's multiple trails, you're gonna spend most. Internally, so we have Sarah and her creative and marketing team, that will be doing the work. This is the brand developer. They'll have website development. They're going to execute all the marketing and advertising. Even though I'm in the project lead on it, my job is just, well, they do it, but ultimately, so, I've been trying to research and develop business plans, concept, and idea, and what business for it. It's already ready to buy. But we're getting there. We're closer to it than we've ever been. And that's what we see right at the end of this time. So, in the ultimate direction, of course, will come from our executive session. So we've been guiding. I just one idea to go over them, and then if we feel like then I spend more time on it. Otherwise, I shift direction and go somewhere else. So what we've completed thus far, we talked, Sarah and I speak weekly. We have weekly meetings, and we've been doing that on a regular basis. We had a couple of interruptions where I had COVID and so we hired a professional writer to take the evaluation about that. I put a sample in there of his writing. I think it's really cool. I think I chose the one about the Muslim family. What is that? I had always wondered how he would make something so industrial, so attractive. But Mark Van Dam has great history.
Where is it?
It goes from the last, and if you don't have it, I'll give you one as a Mark one. But all trails will still be have to. And I love that too, because the big push last 2.5 years, this, we're Jefferson County, and we work. So I thought it was ironic that so each line was trying to be more of the own. So I love that part of it, but he also did a great job with his write-up. We're going to find a way to take bits and pieces of it to be the draw, pull people into the wanting to do the trail. So that'll be serve multi-purpose. That's where we spend some of our money. We haven't spent a lot of money today. I don't have it exactly, but he does get paid as a professional writer. Another really exciting thing is Sarah just hired Co-Media Group. That's in the report. They're going to be doing all of the professional anything and videography. I was there are many state so this will be a first one that trail goes to Bethlehem, it includes, through the Plain County. So it's potential to have, partnership with these towns. Maybe even make it revenue generating, so other research, communities, we talk to the revenue plans. So, I got a side view, and I was like, okay, this is good. I was, to create business, but also to sponsor it, because part of the goal is things, we don't have to do that over and over again and ask for money. We may need enhancements or things that are going to make it even better, improve the quality, but as the general rules, we move along and it touches on their business. So that is, part of the research and development. So there's a sample of that, it looks like this. And so I've been looking at sponsors, partners, points of interest, and it's not going to be, there's two different examples of the map that I reviewed. One is like Steam, which is very good, a lot of white space. But some of them are cluttered with advertising, a lot of copy, not really what we envision as being the mass. So, anyhow, so that is part of the work that I was doing. So when I was driving, where can I stop and get gas? Where can you get their vehicle service? If there's any problems, where can you pick up, stop at an ATM? A lot of these places are part of the middle of nowhere, so you actually need some GPS. And so, we're talking about labeling that, so they don't know when there's service. A couple of them are close to casinos, those become partners. Do that, if you have Andrew's going to be one of his responsibilities, he's going to go out and build these relationships. So we have a regional, but all those leads. That's the goal. And it always has been. Kurt said it in the very beginning. That's why he picked the courthouse. And I love that part of it. So we're talking about either completing the whole entire thing all at once or possibly introducing it in phase. Where we have 4 main trails and then have another release date for another trail and then release 2 more and then have our final one. And the reason why the interval is to kind of build in and create our own rules, like, oh, Madison has a new trail. I'm going to go see it. But out of all 7, we actually found an 8th one that possibly might be introduced as well. And we're not ready to talk about that yet, but we also found a trail that we identified that is going to be our feeder trail. It just has features to it that people who drive it, people who ride it, are going to find very desirable because a lot of them are pretty simple but they're beautiful and like you can read, probably make them sound wonderful too. But the feature trail has 5 construction projects going on right now. So we're going to have to create some detours. If those detours are feasible, if not, we have some complete bridge replacements happening. So we're kind of at the mercy of NDOT and the Kentucky Department of Transportation a little bit. While they maintain the roads and they maintain our product, they can also tear it up whenever they want to and plug the detour. So that's a little bit tricky. So we're trying to maneuver that and figure out a different way. I actually talked to Charlie, the feature trail. I was on my 3rd drive of it, and I had called Bobby Phillips with the county roads, and I said, Bobby, what's going on with this bridge? And he did find out from great source, great guy. There was a couple bridge replacements that won't be complete till November. So I reached out to Charlie, who was also driving it again. And he said, I think we can say that these were still safe and usable. They will actually add and enhance the experience a little bit more. So the road issues are probably our biggest one because they're so out of our control. Everyone always know about it. But I check both of those websites on a regular basis to kind of not be surprised by what's coming next. So, but Andrew and I recently talked about maybe we should just get all 7 million. So it's a possibility. We're now a little bit to see where we go with it. But it's all strategic and purposeful. I think it's really well thought out and things that you always kind of drive my direction for that. I included a budget because it's sort of giving us money to help us get this started. So I thought you could know there's a little bit of a difference from what Andrew, I don't know what it's blue and red, and it's a little bit higher than what the proposal was that Andrew gave you originally, which is his original proposal. And then you guys have the copy. So it is about $6,000-7,000 higher, but the reason why is because we're going to, I added merchandise in there and a few other things, keeping the numbers to try to get that, get them a little bit, not more accurate, just over time. He presented this in February. So this is more of a June look at what it could look like. It may cost a little more or a little less. There's something wrong. I just thought it was neat from standing there coming out of time. Thank you, somebody. But anyhow, so part of what I built is that our expenses need to have some revenue and this as well. So we're working on it. It's been pretty quiet, but what we do, I don't think it is the leaves are open. We have all the dust and stuff. It's basically ready. Here's your window. So we do have a checklist and a timeline. If anybody wants to stop by the office and talk about that, be glad to go over any of it. I'm talking to Wednesday tomorrow. He is very enthusiastic about this project, and I'm going with him. I think I've quite a few people that are interested in the project. So they're kind of involved because we've already been once. I've done that a few times in my life, so it's very scary. I'm going to be done. The inside is more work. Yeah. Yeah. Anybody have any questions out there? Heard you got comments on it?
So it's not a gypsum plant, it's a wallboard plant. It's nanometallic is. Whatever that is. And I'd avoid B Camp Road because it is.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I thought that
Yeah.
was-
It's going up. You can't.
Well, it's got an optional going up B Camp. I made the mistake of going up at once and I'm.
If I alter any of that, you can't grow it it's not a road. Why would I say? I have a Ford Expedition in 4-wheel-drive.
Going up.
Yeah.
Going down's fun too.
Going down is pretty fun too, and it just rained, so I crossed the creek 4 times, and I took someone who visit from this area, and she was just afraid driving up hanging, much less was standing there. So some of the things he wrote about might not quite make it or be altered, but for Jeep.
No, yeah, I think it was, yeah. Absolutely, yeah.
Some men in Corvette.
Marketing and that.
Yeah, Corvette probably should not go up.
Yes. No, no, and I don't want to take legal responsibility. No. I have heard. Yeah. Well, I think we got my report last week.
Good.
A lot of everything that she's talked about, I've been supporting that. Meeting with her, meeting with this, for media, making sure that, notified companies. There's a lot of wonderful signs when you have somebody that shows up and they listen to everything you say. And then at the end of it, they're like, wow, I went there, and so it was just like one of those moments of, this is gonna be a great day. So seeing that passion across the table is really. Yeah, so we have our first kickoff meeting on Wednesday, and so really excited about what that was like. And it's great to work with a company that you do that and that's really excited. And we would have gone local if we could follow it. But it was so hard. Photography, covers, and the photographer, Bill Jones left, and one of the things, Don Cornett left in Florida. You know, unfortunately, he was burning from a energy standpoint. And a lot of people, there's a lot of photographers that are doing a lot of portraits, more, you know, family, you know, wedding, to get these beautiful beauty shots, what I call them, and we're excited for that part. And it was actually reasonable compared to things that I got towards Cincinnati, where I worked up there. So I was really loving it. Just working deep in the events with us. It's 4 weeks away. A lot of everything is booked, and all of, you know, just reworking all the designs and getting that out to all the media vendors and using things and changing artwork, and then also reviewing proposals that are also affect what and nice. So kind of touching those as well. I got my first artwork in this week. That day. Additionally, I think we mentioned that we hired somebody last month, and it's been a great 4 weeks. Getting her immersed in everything, you know, focusing on a lot of the Visit Madison 365 stuff and trying to choose really immersing yourself into the social platforms, maintaining our website, doing some graphic design projects, anything I throw her to does, and then like, oh, goodness, and she's quick. So it's nice to have the help and have your second set of eyes. And you know, it's been really great, and we're also getting ready to finish 2 internships. One with a graphic designer that's been redoing the revamping their office course. So by the end of she's on August 11th, and she's produced probably. She's redone some of them. You know, we wanted them all to look uniform. Also recreating and that things that are really we have him on this grant that she's done for murals and other art, and then we're also working on an outdoor trail, and so there's really there's a lot of elevating going on in every area of that organization. But we haven't had interns in quite a few years, and so it's a bit much to go from 0 to 3, you know, like managing, but it's happened. They've been really great as far as being self-motivated, and so there's also that mentorship that's going on all the time. So, but it's been great, and we have that our return logging, and we will have 17 by the time. So that you see their whole numbers, but also everything that you guys so then this is where we started working on marketing, and well, that looks like then reaching out sooner to our partners and with Andrew on what is this like.
top KPIs for June. Review of Google Analytics. For visits, everything across the board is up. 31% over last year on visits to our website, 25% on unique page views, 33% over our new users. Our top page is our homepage events, the flight, public art and regatta. This is all June. Top referral sites is directly somebody typing it in. VisitIndiana.com. I reported last month or the month before that Visit Indiana, with our increased partnership with them, we're getting. I mean, I had plus 427% of referrals coming from them. Like my last report, the report before, so that just continues to go up. And you know, from advertising. And I think that just as a side note, I've been building that relationship for 5 or 6 years now, and it's just really great because they throw us, tourism partner, or I'm sorry, travel writers and just different people that they're partnering with. They see us as an extension of the and so they're always, hey, can you do this, or they're going to feature this, can you get a picture, or whatnot. And additionally, the state was awarded another $10 million in state tourism advertising. So they're picking it up a notch, and we're right there with them. So we're on a mobile Twitter program, and I signed up for the year. I'm knowing that what they were going to be putting behind it, the drive mobile. So I'm doing some events, and they will, doing that marketing, and then there's not a lot of people that have signed up for that. When you go to visitindiana.com and you see our ad at the bottom, and you keep refreshing just to see who else is coming up. At a couple times there's only 2. Now there's 4, which one of them is themselves. They're promoting Visit Indiana at the bottom, in addition to what we're doing. So that's really exciting. Again, about why I think that we're part of this. And then of course Facebook, and leading into that, the in-person usage of that is increased. Instagram, something to note here. If anybody here is on Instagram, you know that if you want to click on a link, you have to go to the profile. You can't click on the actual post. So the fact that people our website clicks are 327%, and our profile visits are for 86%. The fact that that's happening is just, I feel like it's, getting help, getting somebody that's monitoring that more, maybe more, and it's, helping people to go to our website for that. So that's exciting to get that type of. Robert was doing great, and having Julia there, she's looking into everything. We are requesting people more often. More often than we did too. I mean, I'd be spending hours once a week. Now she's going in every day. Great. So keeping up with that, creating the information, and then embedding that on our website, and we offer those custom galleries to our department. And then our July email, great. Again, the open rate and the click rate are above industry average. The top links for the United Music calendar. Number 2 was that summer sidewalk sale, which is the Barbie thing that happened over the weekend. If you didn't see pink, I don't know where you were, but as you know, we try to. I don't say try. We do. We help promote what's going on in town. So I think that hopefully contributed a little bit. Number 3 was Stay Music in the Park. We've claimed our new handle for Threads, which is a new social app that is owned by Meta Facebook, which is sort of like a Twitter. So we're tapping into that, and Jim announced to me the day before I even knew that Twitter was changing their name to X. So I didn't even know that. So go.
X.
One
letter.
X, like SpaceX.
So putting everything
They're very good. But the kiosk scans out there on the street continue to excel. Obviously, eat and drink is number 1. The accumulated scans are 374. ports that people want to know what they eat and drink, and it's nice to see that Stay is in the top 3. Because people were down there and they're like, oh, I want to stay. So that gives that encouragement that when people come and if they are the day trippers, that hopefully maybe they're changing their mind and staying. So lots of good stuff. And you know,
I think you're definitely doing a great job. It's always fun to be able to focus on things you want to focus on and not have to be the marketing and executive director. So.
it's a the person that changes.
You finally focus on things that you feel doing.
It is, yeah. Thank you so much.
There was some discussion about the marketing, making sure it has kind of those leading KPIs, and Aaron and I worked on that. Does that format help rather than getting all of the stats?
It's overwhelming you with 16 pages of stuff.
Yeah, does that fit more with what you're
Yeah,
trying to say?
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I want to know what you're tracking so we can at least see. I mean, you've got all that. That's nice, but
Those are kind of
the big ones you want to.
Right, and something else is to mention, Google changed on July 1st to GA4. So our Google Analytics Universal, which is the previous 3 versions, is no longer being supported by the new GA4 platform. And so they're changing the way that they're just telling you what you should track. You know what I mean? Like they're not, we can still track the same things all we want, but they're changing the focus base, and it's all based on privacy. So that's where that's all driven from, is privacy and the changes. So as we move forward and as I get more time, I've made sure that it's working correctly since the turnover or since changeover on July 1st. But as we get going forward, I'm able to, dive into those numbers and see if any of these should change or not.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Tourism Alliance Committee update. I know, Andrew, do you have any updates on that? I know, I was not at the last one. I was out of town. Wendy had brought it to my attention before the meeting. She was out of town as well. I neglected to ask anyone on the board if they were attending or did attend. But I know it's a fantastic thing. I'm glad we did.
With a mighty few that met, but it was good. We had some good conversations about all the different projects that are happening among the different partners. And one of the suggestions that the partners all had was send us this data each month. And I go over the JCBT and my board. We want to know the placer data. And so I said, that's great. So I'm sending that now every month to them to help share that information. So that when Jess has a busy weekend, she can go, yeah, we saw it in the numbers, or wait a second, that weekend was good. No, it wasn't. So we can kind of start tracking that a little bit better together. So we spent a lot of time talking about that. Our next meeting is October 11th. So if you want to make a note of that, and then I'll let Jess throw in anything else that happened that she wants to discuss. I do want to get 2 plugs in, 2 very important plugs that I gave to the Tourism Alliance. I'll get to you all as well. We are going to be representing Madison at the Outdoors Expo. It's Paddle Fest over in Cincinnati on Friday, August 4th. And so if you want to go over, stand there at that booth and tell people about all of the Jefferson County's outdoors opportunities, we'd love to have you. And then we will be up at the Indiana State Fair on Sunday, August the 6th. And oh boy, I just happened to have a sign-up sheet right here. If you are so inclined to go to the State Fair on that Sunday the 6th and want to sit in there and head out information about it.
Any of the partners to say that they want to go to like the outdoors?
Oh, Jess said she wants to jump on State Fair. And so,
Like the State Fair.
yeah, but there's been a couple others saying that they're interested. So I know it's still a couple weeks out from everybody's schedule. And this time of year, which before school starts and all that. So, but if anything, I will be there. I love the State Fair, and so you will find me Visit Madison gear on, and hand out brochures with a pork burger in hand. Maybe near a corn.
That was in years when
I'll be there.
By the way, Curtis, I finally was able to order a branded canopy through your contact.
Oh, yeah, you got one for me?
When it's coming,
Yes.
and we're gonna use it at Paddle Fest.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. But no outdoor.
Ours was damaged, it was out.
So.
Yeah. You said by frame.
Is.
So I was thinking of Park Ranger, you know what I mean?
You could even wall back, those really do. Not a part over.
Manager, assistant park manager.
The back is gonna be a separate gate, so we're hoping to dual purpose it.
It's a problem.
I think it just.
Yeah.
Not yet. I just, you do, but yeah, we'll see how it goes. Then I just wanted to let you know.
Yeah, cool.
We're pushing forward and appreciate your support on that. If anybody's heading to the state fair, let me know. Jess, is there anything from?
Well, only other thing I was gonna mention, is, well, there were two things. One, we are really sticking to the rail, so this is the thing that I want you guys to know as the alliance, that we took that foundation that we got from Michael and Dan, and we're continuing to, we've updated the rail, we're adding things, deleting things, we're circling back to things, even on my list that are not done. All of that stuff, but we're continuing those conversations, and it's become a lot more of a sounding board conversation space of what's going on with you and how can you do this and how are you working on your projects and how and it's been great. You know, I've been going since the beginning, but I feel like every time I go now, we had some conversations about how do we get the rest of our alliance members to show up regularly. It is, I don't have the thought of, oh, it's a 3-hour meeting. I go, this is great. I'm ready for the meeting. Let's get this done. We need to have these conversations and move forward. And using it as a tool to see all those people and have those connections. So that's been marvelous going forward. And Andrew's been doing a great job making sure we're revising, keeping it on task.
And thank you for being part of that.
Well, thanks.
Yeah.
It really, it's one of those things. I'm the person that, you know, sometimes you need to re-enlighten the passion or relight the fire or, you know, just give it a little gas. And that really helps a lot of times to do that. And it's, you know, it's 3 hours every quarter. It's not like it's life or death here to make that happen. So it's been really great. The other thing is we're offering a tour to all of our tourism partners, you guys included, of the of Sullivan House on August 15th at 10 a.m. So if you want to come take a tour of the Sullivan House, John, Executive Director and President, man of the world, will be there to give you the tour. And he's going to talk about the Sullivan House kind of as we're doing it, but really focusing on what the potential is it could become. So we're looking at funding for restoration and taking those first steps. We might even know by then. We won't know for sure, but we might know by the end of August if our first big supporter is available or whatever we want to call that. These are all things I don't know. But he's going to talk about what that looks like, what the big report told us, because it's more than 700 pages of information and 250 different paint samples. All of that tells us a lot of things, and we want to share that with you guys, and we want to get people in the building. And part of this is also Victoria. I know that I owe you an email to get you guys over there too. But if you ever want to take a tour, this is a great time to come. And if you need more information, we're hoping to keep it just an hour. But
Sullivan House,
August 15th. Yep.
What's that, what day?
It's a Tuesday.
Oh.
August 15th.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah,
And
thank
thank you guys for your continued support. We did miss you though. We missed not having you.
I was very disappointed that I was out of town. It really was it's just neat to see everybody working together. And
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah.
We did continue a little bit of that restaurant conversation with part of the stuff from the city and that
Okay.
designated outdoor refreshment. still learning that one. But,
Dora,
Yes.
yeah.
So restaurants are still on there. We're still having that conversation. We're trying to keep everybody showing up.
Yeah.
'Cause we were the mighty few.
And it is, it's just a hard time.
And
Right
some
after
of
the
the
fair, everybody always goes on vacation
Yeah.
after fair before school, so.
but still productive, still great.
Just look at partnerships and projects. Does anybody have any updates on partnerships and projects? We've met a few times, the innkeeper's tax, just having a discussion. Just a lot of conversations that still need to be had, and I'm certainly not gonna say anything because there'll be 1,000 questions and we don't have those answers. So a lot of communicating, with different people locally, but our government. So I can say Rob and me and Andrew have met quite a few times having those discussions and trying to refine those ideas down. Got any questions? I'm sure these guys and myself be interested in sitting down with you and hearing your thoughts. But still a lot of conversations. Does any of the special meeting, August 21st, at 6:30 p.m., does any of that scare anybody that have received anything? At all? Okay.
Please don't.
Yeah, thank
I
you guys.
understand. I just wanna-
I think last time, almost all of them came in the day before, or the day of.
That language is for.
Sure, no, absolutely. You got 84,000.
And I think I've heard from either 3 or 4, maybe as many as 5 different organizations that have asked for applications, asked for information, and asked for the deadline dates.
Okay.
So I would anticipate that your email will be very busy on the morning of August 7th.
She needs a day
Just give him access, let him do.
Yeah.
So we'll meet here, Monday, August 21st, 6:30 p.m., where that one will hear the applicants. We won't vote, we won't do anything other than hear, take notes, and then the following week on the 28th, that's when we'll make decisions, have discussions, and,
Or even when,
21 and 28.
so Monday the 21st.
Yes. Anything, from the audience? Think we've heard from the audience? You wanna say that? You're the only one that had stuff. That's kind of power in your name and that. Yeah,
Right.
From the board. Thank you all again for being here.
Thank
Is
you,
there-
guys.
Go.
First, you want to make a motion?
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
Second.
Dave? All in favor? Carries, adjourned. Thank you, guys.